between some of the downtimes with working on my layout, I try to catch up on my model railroader reading. So I thought I'd spend a little bit of time today on just discussing some of the resources and stuff that I use to try to learn as much as I can about model railroading. On the internet, there's a ton of resources, and there's also some magazine resources. Right now, the best magazine resource out there is Model Railroader. Model Railroader's been around for a long time. I believe well over 50 years. They got over 1,000 magazines that have been issued out, and a lot of information. Even in and when you get a subscription, besides the printed magazine, you can also get a subscription to their Video Plus, which I highly recommend, because if you're like me and sometimes reading something isn't as much as visually seeing something in action. So I actually like the Video Plus. I watch all of the episodes and everything on Video Plus. Model Railroader also will, they send out like special issues every so often. Like in this case here, I got this Model Railroader Ultimate Guide. This is actually a very good issue. I actually like it. Also, they have some, they publish books, and so like this particular book here, this is the Model Railroader Scenery. This is one on model railroading benchwork, and this is on basic DCC wiring. These are three books that I can't help but recommend, because they're actually extremely helpful. Even though I'm going with the Miani benchwork, there's a lot of information in this benchwork that even works a lot well with the Miani. Besides Model Railroader, there's some other great resources out there. I'm just going to list them off in the description line of the video. I'll also provide links to some of these various resources. One of the resources, well, if you're doing model railroading, there's the National Model Railroad Association, the NMRA. The NMRA is an association that's been around for probably as long as Model Railroader has been. And they have a lot of information to write up on their website. They have videos and a lot of helpful information. If you decide to join the NMRA, which if you are serious about model railroading, I would recommend you do. But they have the conventions, which it'd be great to go to. I know usually I would just wait until one hits around my area. They float around the country. They also have shows. Plus, the most important thing about the NMRA is it gives you information on clubs. And if you want to get a good support system in for the hobby, you probably want to join a local club, and that way you can work on club layouts and just kind of pick the brains of other people around you. Other great websites is there's the World Greatest Hobby website. World Greatest Hobby is it's talking about model railroading. It is the world's greatest hobby. And they have a cool video intro into model railroading video that's really cool. But they also do what's called the World Greatest Hobby on Tour show. And if you go to that website, you can see where it is and then possibly try and hit it. There's some other online magazines. There is Model Railroader Hobbyist. I read it all the time. It's a great magazine. It's got a lot of great info. The Model Railroader Craftsman, or Railroad Model Craftsman, sorry. There is a website out there called buildyourmodelrailroad.com. It's got tons of great information in it. If you like the Model Railroader Video Plus channel, I recommend buying a subscription to the Model Railroad Academy as well. It's very similar to Model Railroader Video Plus. It's all video-based type videos and very helpful. Other things out there is if you're just getting into the hobby, I recommend you model in DCC, which is Digital Command Control. And there's a guy who has a website out there. It's called the DCC Guy, and it really goes into a lot about digital command control. There's also, as you're starting to get further along in the hobby, you want to start emulating like the rail cars of the eras and stuff like that, whatever you're planning on modeling. There's a website out there called Rail Car Photos, and that's very helpful. Last but not least, there's forums out there. There's the Model Railroader forum where you can post your questions, and I guarantee you're going to have questions. So where you can go out there and post your questions. There's also Model Rail forum and Train Board. Those are three of the really good forums that are out there. So you got the Model Railroader on the Model Railroader website, Model Rail forum, and Train Board. And like I said, I'll post links to all of this in the description. Last but not least, another wonderful resource, of course, is where you're watching this video right now, which is called YouTube. I cannot tell you how many tips, tricks, hints, how-tos, and everything I've watched on YouTube. YouTube is a wonderful resource for anything model railroading. So that's pretty much it for resources. I also like to talk about where I buy my supplies. So let's head on down to the layout because I just got a batch of supplies in from MB Klein.